chairwoman of the board of Solar Powers e.V., and we are in Berlin, Germany. So today we're going to talk about all the financial aspects of financing a project like this, crowdfunding, for example. And yeah, there's a whole video about our initiative, our organization, all the process that you can find as well. The link you will find below.
We want to go to where the energy transition is being lived and just talk to a few people who are doing something. Today, I'm at the TU Berlin with Andrea. We simply did a feasibility study and looked at the results. There is a lot of potential. There is a lot of unused roof space. And why can't we just put a PV system up there? One of the biggest challenges was the financing. And so we tried various collaborations with companies. Did a crowdfunding campaign. And that was how we raised the money over the course of about 2 years. One of the coolest things was actually the construction of the PV system. We all had the theoretical knowledge, so to speak, but it was really cool to put it all into practice. So firstly, we installed the PV system, the first PV system for producing the TU's very own electricity. Then, we also developed 2 events. Firstly, we want the TU to concretize its sustainability goals. And secondly, we want more solar power at the TU. And we are also committed to making more use of photovoltaics or just generally increasing the integration of renewable energies in the education sector. For me personally, it is important that as a student, one can somehow show that you can actually help shape things a bit for the university. I just feel obliged. Why not do something for the environment yourself? Every student can help shape things at their own university, make it more sustainable. And you can too.
For the financing of this project specifically, we came up with like a mixed strategy of different instruments or tools or ideas on how to fund the money. And one was crowdfunding through a platform. The other was sponsoring from different companies, donations of people in general, whoever wants to contribute. Also companies could contribute. And then there was a campaign for donating the money of one module, for example, so you can put your name on it. We started approaching different companies that are in this renewable energy sector, and some companies were interested in supporting us with, for example, money, an amount of money. Others were interested in supporting us with something more specific, like the mounting systems. So yeah, there's a company called Mounting Systems in Germany. They gave us the whole mounting system, so the structure, the base of the PV system. And then we also got sponsoring from a company, and then another company contributed with just a donation, a big donation, but it was still a donation, so you also have to difference sometimes between donation and sponsoring. Donation requires it doesn't require anything, it's just a donation, and sponsoring, there's some kind of you have to give something back, let's say, for that like amount of money you gave. And normally, or at least in Germany, you also pay a certain amount of taxes. And so we were avoiding sponsoring because we didn't want to pay taxes. But yeah, so we received one sponsoring contract, and then just collaborated with this company, Mounting Systems, which donated the whole structure, and 2 other companies, Naturstrom and EUCENA, they donated money. And then the crowdfunding platform we used for the rest is called betterplace.org. There's other ones that you can also choose. So Better Place, it's a German platform. And then there's also GoFundMe that you can use also for gathering money. For the crowdfunding, it was important to gather all the information about the project. You need like some kind of summary where you tell about the idea, what you're working on, for what you need the money exactly, and how much. So it was important to have an idea, okay, a goal. I think we went for like 10,000 euros or something like that, and then you need to put this information in the platform, and also your legal status. So you need to be an organization in order to receive money. And you also need the bank account, which was very important. Then we were always trying to give updates, like during the process. I don't remember how many months it was, but for sure 6 months. And during that time, we posted some updates, and we were constantly reminding people of our crowdfunding campaign so that other people can see it, and then other people on social media could also share it. That's also very important. And so the basic requirements are to be a legal organization and to have a bank account, and then the information you need to describe and to make people want to fund your project. So I would say there's nothing super specific you need to consider when it comes to the crowdfunding. Just I think it makes sense to continuously give updates to the people when you have when you're towards reaching the goal, and also keep on sharing it in social media and everywhere, wherever you can, because then the more people see it, the more clicks you get, and obviously the more donations you will get as well. And in our case, we had one specific person that was in charge of all the organizational aspects, and also taking care of putting the legal data of our account. So because you make an account, you need the number for the registration of this non-profit organization, then also you need your bank account and so on. And for that we had one specific person doing it, and afterwards it was not necessary. We just closed it when we reached our goal and we received the money from the platform. So I think all of us thought that making a crowdfunding campaign would require way more work and energy, but in the end it was actually easier than thought. And the more difficult part was to share all the information and make people really donate. So you need a lot of work on like social media and maybe a hands-on campaign at the campus or wherever it is that you are. That I think we would have changed. We would have maybe concentrated a bit more on that, and maybe also had one or two people more working on this. But for the rest, I think it was easier than thought. So if you're working on a project on your own and don't have the money, I would encourage you to use crowdfunding campaigns, or maybe also come up with a mixed strategy. Also use sponsoring, cooperation with companies. Don't let that stop you from implementing your project, because everything is possible, and especially with crowdfunding, you can make people just contribute something small, but in the end it can be a lot.